Hi, this is week 3 in advanced financial modeling. Um, so for my first task in week 3, um, I asked ChatGPT to help me write a Python program that asks a user for to input a number, and then it returns and tells the user if that number is even or odd. You can see over here, this is the code asking for the input. Please enter a number. And then it says if the number is divisible by 2, in print number is even, else if it returns anything that's not divisible by 2. Um, if you get like a if you get a decimal, it will give you the number is odd. So let's run this code real quick. Please enter a number. We're going to enter the number 10. Want to enter the number 10, and it tells us the number 10 is even. If we run it again and enter the number 5, we'll see the number. The next task I did was to give all the numbers from 1 to 100 that are divisible by 3. So uh, I asked ChatGPT for help on this code. Write a Python program that prints all the numbers from 1 to 100 that are divisible by 3. And as you see here, you give it the range here of 1 to 100, and it says if the number is divisible by 3, then print the number. So let's run this code, and you can see down here that it prints all the numbers that are divisible by 3 between 1 and 100. For task 3, um, I asked Python to help me write a code that takes a number as an input and calculates its factorial. So you can see here, that is what I did. And um, you can see here, let's run the code. Please enter a number, 80. And then it gives its massive factorial down here. Let's run it again and enter 2, which is, of course, 2. Task 4. Um, I asked ChatGPT to help me write a Python code that prints the Fibonacci series up to the nth number, whatever you input. So um, it asks the user to input a number of Fibonacci terms that it wants it to return. And of course, the Fibonacci sequence is a sequence that adds um, whatever number you're looking at and the previous number before it together. So it adds 0 and 1 together and gets 1, and then it puts 1, and you add 1 and 1 and get 2, and you add 2 and 1 and get 3, and you add 3 and 2 and get 5, and so on and so forth. So if we run this code here, you'll see we enter, let's say we want 15 numbers in the Fibonacci sequence, and you get these 15 numbers in the Fibonacci sequence. It's pretty cool. And then the next um, task that I had ChatGPT help me with was creating a simple text-based game that asks the user to guess a number and provide feedback on whether the guess is too high or too low. And this is similar to one that I did the first week, but we're importing random. Um, we're we're asking for a random integer between 1 and 100, and we're printing "Welcome to the number guessing game. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 100." And we're asking the user to enter their input an integer with enter your guess. Um, and if the guess is lower than the number to guess, it prints too low, try again. Then if the guess is higher than the number to guess, you print too high, try again. Um, and if else, meaning that if they guess the correct number, it prints, congratulations, you guessed the correct number. So let's run this code. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 100. Let's guess 50. Start right in the middle. Too low, try again. Let's go up to 70. Too low, let's go up to 80. Too high, 75. Too high, 72. Too low, 73. There we go. We got the number. The correct number is 73. That's a pretty fun code to play around with. The next code is Python code that counts the vowels and consonants in a string, and the input that it asks for from the user is a string. Otherwise, known as a sentence or a paragraph, whatever you want to call it. So um, you can see here that you're identifying what vowels are, and consonants are obviously the opposite of that. Let's run this code here. Please enter a string. Let's say I like advanced financial modeling. And click enter. Number of vowels 13, number of consonants 17. For the seventh task um, I did a, I had Python or ChatGPT help me out writing a Python code that prints the multiplication table of a given number. So we're defining multiplication table here, number um, for I in range 1 to 11. So try this out here. Let's say 10. Um, so it gives you the multiplication table between one for that number from 1 to 10. So it's asking for the user input. You're entering the number, and then it gives you the multiplication table. So I entered 10, and I got 10 times 1, 10 times 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth, with their products over there to the right. For the eighth task, excuse me, I asked Python or asked ChatGPT to help me generate code to write reverse Fibonacci sequence, which is just the same as a Fibonacci sequence, but obviously in reverse. So it's similar code to the Fibonacci sequence code, um, but let's run it here. So I think last time we did 15 numbers in the Fibonacci sequence, ended on 377. So if we do it again, it should start with 377 and go backwards. And yes, you can see here it goes 377, 233. So it's just the Fibonacci sequence in reverse, which is pretty cool. For task nine, um, so for task nine, uh, I asked ChatGPT um, to give me something to do with Python to enhance my Python skills. And it said, how about create a word frequency counter? And so the input that you are asking for here is a sentence or a paragraph, so another string. And the user types in a sentence or paragraph and um, clicks enter, and the output will be a count of the words. So if you use a word twice, it puts that word and puts two. If you use a word once, it puts that word and puts once, so on and so forth. And so let's type another sentence here. Let's see, I like to eat mac and cheese, and I like chicken strips. So you can see here, I twice, like twice, two, one, eat one, mac one, and two. So you can see it's counting each word and how many times you use it. So it's a pretty cool code there. Um, And so next, the next task uh, ChatGPT helped me through was palindrome checker. Um, so it's it's taking an input from a user and telling them whether what they typed in is a palindrome or not. So obviously something that reads the same way forward as backwards. So let's run this code real quick and just kind of give the example of um, what ChatGPT offered us here. A man, a plan, a canal, Panama. And you can see the input is a palindrome. So these were all some pretty interesting tasks for week 3. Just helping with loops and um, fill inputs and conditionals. So overall, it was a good learning experience.